Sorry about the late start today, guys. I was running a little bit behind and I didn't even really have time to get all of my pictures together. So, what are we doing today? We are doing 12 ball. So, I've already done 8 ball in a previous stream. I actually really liked the way the deck came together, but it was one of the first ones that I did. Didn't necessarily have my voice, didn't really hit all the right notes, didn't have all the tools available. But super excited about this one today because we get to run 12 copies of Ball Lightning. So, what does that mean? That means that first and foremost, we have our good buddy Ball Lightning and his green time spiral twist groundbreaker. So, this is very kitchen table, but as you guys know, if you follow my stream, we never go full Timmy. So, we are going to be playing with a lot of fun cards tonight, but there is actually a good strategy at the end. So we have Ball Lightning, Groundbreaker, and then Lightning Skelemental. Lightning Skelemental does add a little bit of a kink to our already tight mana base, but really excited to give it a shot. I think that being able to discard 2 cards out of your opponent's hand is going to be valuable enough that it's worth trying to play around. Besides, this is 12 ball. Come on. We got to have the 12 balls. On top of that, we end up getting Collected Company and Bloodbraid Elf. They're going to allow us to go get our Ball Lightnings. Bloodbraid Elf hitting any of the Ball Lightnings ends up turning into 9 damage for 4 mana. Collected Company ends up being 12 damage for 4 mana. We're also going to take advantage of Vexing Devil here. Whenever he enters the battlefield, an opponent may have it deal 4 damage to him or her. If it does, we sack Vexing Devil. Otherwise, it's a 1 mana 4/3. So just really good value there. Clearly, we're a burn deck, so this is just some really good attrition. And then never go full Timmy. We are running Electro Dominance and Living End. So hopefully we're going to Ball Lightning, Collected Company, Ball Lightning, Bloodbraid Elf, Ball Lightning, and then when all the Ball Lightnings go to the yard, we'll just get a free Living End, bring back all the Ball Lightnings, and swing for somewhere north of 30. So that's our game plan tonight. I'm really excited to give this a shot. So yeah, I mean, we get some fun cards here. We're going to use Birds of Paradise to try to help fix our mana. We end up having a couple of different mana fixings. Last time around, we were actually running 4 copies of the Firelit Thicket, and we were trying to run Manamorphose. It just really didn't work out right. As much as I wanted it to, it just did not work out right. It's really hard to Manamorphose and try to draw into something that costs 3 of a single color. Just too hard to fix for that, and pretty excited for this one. Last time I played 8 ball, I left in thinking oh, I want to play more of that in my free time, but we have to go from deck to deck to keep this interesting. And we'll see how it goes tonight. Update our record. This is a turn 1 Birds of Paradise, turn 2 Ball Lightning. Actually, a turn 2 Lightning Skelemental discard 2. These are the hands that make me happy. If opponent plays Conventional Wisdom and bolts the bird, I'll be a little sad. Alright, so it looks like it's either Delver or Wizards. Delver's likely going to bolt the bird. Do not need a draw stop. So, at least in Legacy, you try to run out the Delver and protect it with Force of Will and Daze. It's a little bit easier to kill things in Modern, and they're less reliant on the Delver. But I'm just going to try to Birds of Paradise here. If Birds of Paradise sticks, the Skelemental is going to do so much damage. If opponent's sitting on a Forked Bolt, we're going to get blown out so hard. Alright, so they got the Sinkhole. It's Teamer. Okay, they shocked in the Stomping Ground, which means that they probably have something for 2 mana. And I'm getting the read that it's a remand. Alright, if it's a remand, I want a Lightning Bolt, but we came here to Ball Lightning. So, assuming it is a remand, I don't want them to know that they're potentially going to be losing 2 cards if they tap out. So, I'm just going to go ahead and Ball Lightning here. Opponent doing 2 to themselves, so I'm dealing damage in chunks of 6 is fantastic. That's 3 hits with Ball Lightning. Oh, it's an Opt. Alright. Here's hoping they start tapping out for something. Again, Forked Bolt's going to hurt, but is this actually getting in? Okay. This is fine. Bye, ball lightning. So, Coco here would actually be lethal, assuming they're attacking him with the insectile aberration. Which, if you have an insectile aberration, it's pretty much attacking. But it is kind of close to the sinkhole. Snow-covered island. So Snowstrix might be in my future. Doesn't feel likely, but it's definitely possible. Alright, and that is a Goif. Alright. I like where this is going. Living End is not a bad backup plan. So here what we're going to do is we're going to filter into another ball lightning. Sorry, filter into red. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to just leave up red. So I'm going to filter into red using red. Come on, Moto, work with me. Then this is going to be a lightning skelemental. Yes. Attacking for 6. See if opponent's willing to trade off the Goif. Thought Scour targeting themselves. That's fair. Getting rid of a Snow-Covered Forest and a Goif, so Snowstrix is looking significantly more likely. Discard 2. Discard 2. Alright, then I'm not putting it past opponent to have a bolt here. So I'm looking at taking 6 on the ground at the moment. Probably at least another 3 from a bolt. So I'm going to hold this bolt. It's possible I'm supposed to just shoot the insectile aberration while they're tapped down, but just bolting their face if they're planning on blocking something coming down next turn is perfectly acceptable. Hey, look at that, Snowstrix. Called that. Oh, they're leaving Glyph on defense. So they're 100% expecting another ball lightning, which they should. Alright, Glyph is getting in as well. So, what read am I getting there? So they're not necessarily excited about attacking, but they know that they need to start closing this game out. I think the bolt is actually going towards the insectile aberration at this point. Oh yeah, especially if that's staying on defense. Actually, if that's staying on defense, that means that a ball lightning's getting in for 1 damage. They're not going to die. How long we've been pausing on this, they know we have the bolt. I'm just going to take out the insectile aberration. I don't want them to think that they can win by attacking. Plus, like, I have 2 of these guys. Pretty well covered. Here we go again. Man, I would have loved a Coco or an Electro Dominance or... So they're going to sinkhole my ball lightning. Shrink Zigoif. Alright, and they left instants and sorceries. So that made the Goif shrink. Trying to figure out why that's relevant. Instants and sorceries probably means that they run Terramander as well. So they must have drawn another removal spell. I'm fetching here. The thinning is minimal, but I do actually want to get a tapped black source in case I find another lightning skelemental. But taking one of our 21 lands out of our deck does feel mildly relevant at this point. And I want a green source for the Groundbreaker on the off chance that's relevant. So that'll be the Overgrown Tomb. Alright, that's the Birds of Paradise. So that doesn't really do anything great for me. Actually, let's tap this. Okay, Moto, be cool. I want green, green, and I'm going to pay for that with green. And I need one more green. There we go. Show me removal. Burst Lightning. Okay, so Burst Lightning means that they're running at least 4 copies of Bolt. But that's probably what the Sinkhole meant as well. Birds of Paradise is coming out as a chump blocker. I am mildly tempted to leave it up because Electro Dominance would just be lethal, but Electro Dominance will also just cast the Living End and end the game. They did not find an instant or sorcery, so basically any kind of Ball Lightning is lethal here. Unless they leave both back. Yeah, so they don't have removal. They know they'll survive if they block with the Goyf here, which is why they decide to keep it back. Wow, and a Wooded Foothills. Alright. This is when I wish Noble Hierarch would have tapped for red so I could have ran it. Alright, another thing that doesn't flip Delver. Alright, so Burst Lightning can kill me here, so I am actually going to start blocking the Goyf. A kick Burst Lightning would be able to deal 4 damage, and that would put me at exactly dead. Again, this is minimal thinning, but may as well. It doesn't really change the clock much. If I go into 6s means that the Delver's going to be able to kill me in 2 hits. Oh boy, that's a struggle. So if they flip Delver with Burst Lightning and have the land, I'm dead. Or basically just 2 bolts. Running cards like Sinkhole really lower the ability to just kill me out of nowhere, though. Alright, Mr. Bird. See if you can slow down the Lurgoyf at all. Alright, that's another Delver. Coco! Alright, well, this is basically just the test here. So, Skelemental's going to either kill them or kill me. So 3 mana here. Might just be Scred. Snapcaster. 4 Burst Lightning, and that's game. Alright. So, just out of curiosity, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of 21 and 17. I guess that could have been worse. Alright, so Guttural Response can hit counter magic. Don't really think that's actually super relevant here. Ravenous Trap will make it so that Snapcaster gets turned off, but opponent has a really weird slew of cards. I honestly don't think any of that matters. I think as long as we don't draw every single land in our deck, we should come ahead on this one. I would love to play first. There's absolutely 0 mana there. And this is such a slow start. Alright, well, if I scry into a Ball Lightning, that's at least a Ball Lightning on 2. And that's a Ball Lightning on 2. Alright, we'll see if they want to bolt the bird. They did see the average CMC of our deck, so I really wouldn't be surprised if they kill this. But Delver on 1 is the expected start. Alright, yeah, let's just try to make this as pain-free as possible here. Green, green for green. Then we're going to tap for a green. Groundbreaker. Come on, big money! Alright, and this means in-step Coco could technically be lethal if they get aggressive. Or if they just play off tempo expecting to kill our Ball Lightnings, we can probably pull ahead. Alright, Mr. Delver, what do you find? You find an Archmage's Charm that you can't cast. Opponent has a really, really weird deck. Super greedy mana base. Alright, and so my next play here, this is at the beginning of the next end step, so I'm going to be able to cast Coco at the end step and untap with all of my Ball Lightnings, attack with them. Just hope an opponent like taps out for a Goyf here. That'd make me super happy. Odds are they're just going to leave up mana for a Snow Strix, though. They discarded the Charm. I probably should have gone for a Black Source there. It really doesn't matter given what I have right now, but it would have been more correct. Do you have counter magic? You do not. Do you have Forked Bolt? Oh, okay. This is what we want to be doing. This is what we want to be doing. Oh, you conceded? You didn't want to have 21 damage coming at you? That's unfortunate. But I so badly wanted to send that damage at you. So again, Flame Slash maybe could kill an early Goyf. It can definitely kill a Delver, but we just showed opponent the power of just being able to drop a couple of 6/1s, so I think that's our primary game plan. Archmage's Charm doesn't really change a whole lot. I'm not bringing in Guttural Response for that. This is a hand that has half a combo and nothing to do until turn 3. Again, be disciplined and send that back. Ooh, this is a hand that dies to removal on the bird. That has the Electro Dominance and a scry and a draw. Yeah, I'll hang on to that. We do need to get a lot of 6/1s out. Don't need that guy. Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that one, but you do you, opponent. Convention says bolt the bird. Please ignore it again. Okay. Alright, and now I do technically have the Skelemental in hand, but I'm going to cast that off the bird this turn. I need to get my red and my green because I am really pinched at triple casting those. So let's go ahead and send my Lightning Skelemental in. If it makes contact, they discard 2. If they answer it, they answer it. Alright, so Snowstrix comes in. They'll be able to block it. They'll still take 5 and discard 2. Assuming they even want to block it. They might have just used this as a redraw to know what they'd be discarding. Discarding Steam Vents and Spell Snare. Okay, so Spell Snare only hits Electro Dominance if I do it for 0. Yep, I'll take 1. Firelit Thicket. Alright, what does this mean? So, opponent definitely doesn't have Archmage's Charm. They could have another Ice Fang. I think this means I'm just Cocoing. Because they could technically have Dispel, but... I mean, I'd rather just put them to the test and see if they can answer a Coco. Alright, well, that was a half hit, but this Lightning Skelemental should be good. They didn't have removal last turn, so odds are they don't have it this turn. Any Mana Source will let me Ball Lightning and Groundbreaker next turn. Okay, they drew into it. Still likely sending 12 damage at them next turn, though. And yet another Snowstrix. Electro Dominance at end step can shoot them for 3 and put in a Ball Lightning. There's Delver. That's a Coco. Alright, well, I don't want to eat up the Electro Dominance unless I have to. Coco can technically whiff, so I'm going to go ahead and Coco now. I'm leaving a bird on defense just in case I do start to feel a little conservative about my life total. Yeah, let's grab 2 Ball Lightnings. Then if these make contact, the Electro Dominance should just be lethal. Alright. They're finding all their lightning bolts. Electro Dominance should still be lethal at instep, though. I'll just put in a Ball Lightning off the Electro Dominance. Either that or just drop 2 of them. If I say a land, wouldn't mind a land. Opponent's out of resources, and they flipped with a Lightning Bolt. Alright, so I'm looking at taking 5 here. That'll put me to 8. Vexing Devil. Okay, so does Vexing Devil actually do it then? Vexing Devil comes in. They have to let it live. Then I Ball Lightning with one of the birds. The bird can block the Insectile Aberration. Alright, well, this is either going to deal 4 damage or force out the bolt. Perfectly okay with both of those. Alright, they let it stick. Here's a Ball Lightning for you, opponent. You get a Bolt the Ball Lightning. Yep. Alright, well, you're back to having nothing in hand. One of the Codals can't get in now. It's going to have to block the Vexing Devil. And Electro Dominance is going to throw down a Groundbreaker at your instep. I think I'm actually going to block that. I would have been dead to bolt if I let that make contact. Copperline Gorge doesn't actually do anything here. So, Groundbreaker can get in. Oh boy. I think I'm sending Groundbreaker in, leaving Vexing Devil to block the Goyf and block the Delver. I'll take one. They're actually just going to have to block this, so let's send this in first. Let's see what happens. So I send in Vexing Devil. Goyf just blocks the Vexing Devil. The Codal could also just block it, and they could swing back, and I have to block two things? Yeah, so Groundbreaker's just getting in. If I eat the Goyf, then Vexing Devil's kind of live. If I don't, opponent's dead to Electro Dominance. Is it really asking so much for a living end? Alright, so feeling pretty safe here then. Opponent's going to have to draw a Burst Lightning and kick it to kill me. They clearly did not get Burst Lightning, or this guy would be getting in too. I guess they could have Magnamic Sinkhole. I don't know, though. Opponent only has one blue source. We're on turn 7, and they had 2 Archmage's Charms drawn already. Oh, that works. I can't do both, though. You got it, opponent? Alright, well, took the first game against Snow Teamer things. Yeah, I don't know what to call that deck. They had at least 2 Archmage's Charms, Spell Snare, Goyf, Snow Strix, Delver, some weird burn spells. I think I only saw 1 Bolt, but saw a couple of Burst Lightnings and Magnetic Sinkholes. All right, well, let's go for 2. This is turn 1 Birds of Paradise, turn 2 Double Bolt Vexing Devil or Groundbreaker. This is fine. I really don't want my bird to get killed. Like, that'll be super bad, but if this is a matchup like Tron, they're just dead, so that's perfectly acceptable. Our starts probably look a lot like Ponza. We end up getting green and red sources with Mana Dorks. Alright, what is our opponent in? Mountain. Bolt the bird. Goblin Guide. Land? I would love a land. Electro Dominance, alright. May as well tell opponent what we're up to right off the start. So, I am half expecting a Eidolon next turn. Expecting an Eidolon next turn. I think I'm technically winning this race. But first things first, let's go ahead and Vexing Devil and see what opponent wants to do. They're probably going to have to take the 4. Because this blocks so much of what they're doing. Just so much of it. Oh, they let me keep it. Alright. Well, let's see what sequencing looks like here, because the Birds of Paradise is going to filter into the Firelit Thicket and probably double bolt creatures this turn. I'd like to do it during combat, but it's really going to depend on opponent's sequencing here. They're likely going to bolt the Vexing Devil before the Birds of Paradise, though. Searing Blaze. Alright. Land? Living End. Alright. Okay, come on. Filter. Moto's being a little laggy tonight. Bolt that, bolt you. Opponent has seen that we have Electro Dominance and Living End, which means that my Groundbreaker is going to have to get some work in this time. Kind of wish I would have been able to leave the Goblin Guide on the table, but now Electro Dominance for 1, get in a Vexing Devil and a Groundbreaker. Groundbreaker swings in for 6, puts opponent to 3. They're dead to a bolt. Opponent has perfect knowledge of our hand, so they probably don't even really want to commit stuff to the table. If they commit an Eidolon, I could just Electro Dominance for 4 when I get a land drop. And that might help me get a land drop. And that's an Eidolon. That's a land. Alright, so Eidolon's going to do 2 to me when I Living End. Oh, okay, so I'll need another enabler for that. Do I want to Electro Dominance my bird? Kill the bird, Living End, bring back bird, Vexing Devil, Groundbreaker. Bird can block the... No, everything I have can block the Goblin Guide. Alright. Shoot you for 2. Cast a Living End. Take 2. Vexing Devil, you gotta let it stick around. Swing for 6. Then opponent has 3 cards in hand. I don't know what they are. Odds are a bolt's going at the Vexing Devil, but almost anything I draw is going to be live. Electro Dominance will let me Living End, get back my Groundbreaker. Bolt will just kill them. Electro Dominance, I guess I need a land to kill them, but I guess I could just send 3 bolts upstairs and kill me. There might have been better sequencing with the Electro Dominance. Could have killed the Eidolon, had the Eidolon come back, and then if they cast anything, it would have killed them. Yeah, that would have been better sequencing. Alright, well, 2 bolts will still kill me here. Okay. So, taking another bolt will still kill me. Sequencing kind of didn't matter if they've got it. Okay. Alright, Stomping Ground clears the way for a live draw. Okay, if you would have cast that pre-combat, this would have hit for 1 more and killed me. Doesn't matter, though. Didn't draw into it. Alright, so I missequenced there. I should have been able to take game 1. If I left them with their Eidolon, I wouldn't have taken 2 from the living end, and then their creatures would be dead. Alright, I don't think there's anything here I care about. Flame Slash would be the only consideration to kill Eidolon, but it would also kill a Goblin Guide. Yeah, I actually don't have much creature removal. I think I'd rather go up to 6 removal spells and get rid of some of the Vexing Devils. They just died out all the removal opponent has. We can send it back. Pretty much any card at the end there would have been live except for Bloodbraid Elf. Or I guess Coco. We were 1 mana off. It's a little hard looking at that knowing that I punted that game. But definitely keeping up with Burn in the race. Does show some of the power of the deck. Swinging for 6 over and over, it does add up. And I'll be curious to see if they actually bring in Sideboard Hate here. Okay, I don't actually really like this. We are on the play, which means I get a bolt their turn 1 play, then bolt their turn 2 play, discard the cards in their hand, unless they hold up interaction, then once pointed at the Lightning Skelemental, and I have nothing going on. My Cocos are going to be better draws. I should have 17 more lands in the deck. I think I'd rather just start on turn 1 birds. Well, they're just going to bolt the bird. Okay, this is fine. Hopefully they lead on Goblin Guide and I can just eat it with the bolt. I think that's the best I can hope for in this situation. If they just start firing spells upstairs and have a fully stocked hand, it'll be a little hard to keep up with this hand, but that's what I was hoping for. Give me a land. Free 1 for 1? Ah, yeah. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Ball Lightning means that I need to go get my red-black source. So Bloodstained Mire will go get me a fetch land. And hopefully they tap out for an Eidolon. I'll happily take 2 if it means that I'm discarding 2 cards from their hand. Guess not. Fire that off upstairs. Leave yourself vulnerable. Please and thank you. Spend Driftbolt. Okay, that's fine. So that's going to be my Blood Crypt tapped. And who's a fan of solid free 3 for 1s? I know I am. Lightning Skelemental. Hit for 6, discard probably 6 points of burn, or at least a land and 3 points. Sup, Genji? How's it going? Oh, Zero Blizz and Skullcrack. Okay, so they have a pretty loaded hand. So next turn's gonna be Flame Slash, Eat the Swift Spear, Ball Lightning. What kind of decks do you like to play? Because that's really the only question that matters. Like, do you know if you like combo, control? Oh, I don't have a mountain. Crap, that means I'm taking a shock. Oh well, opponent doesn't have much going on. So I'm not overly familiar with Standard at the moment. So G-Burn actually does most of the Standard content for Squirrel Dealer, but it makes a ton of fun decks. Searing Blood. Okay, great. That's painful. They brought in Searing Bloods for me. Yeah, I do like how open Modern is. It's just a little linear and fast. I'm trying to think of what combo deck I'd recommend, because I really, really am a fan of Martyr Proc as a standard opening deck. It's kind of like White Jund. It just lets you grind people out and actually gain life and make decisions that matter. Tuner up the right combo hate pieces, but It doesn't really play like any of that. Alright, well, this is not looking good for this current game. I could wait for them to cast something, but I really don't think it matters. Actually, it would have. That was a horrible misplay. If I draw into Coco and they cast any spell, they would have taken two, and then two balls could have killed them. Excuse me. Well, that's a Vexing Devil, so their other Searing Blaze is going to be live. Yeah, so Martyr Proc, let me see if I can pull up a list. The one I did wasn't completely budget, but the majority of the deck can be built for under like 20 bucks. It's this guy. It basically allows you to quickly combo off with Martyr of Sands and Sarah Ascendant. So you can swing with a 6/6 flying lifelinker on turn 2, or you can go get like Squadron Hawks, tuck them into the deck, go get more, use Ranger of Eos or the new. Okay, well, not dead yet. Or the new one that just came out of Modern Horizons, go tutor up pieces. Yeah, so mine was not completely budget. If you end up trimming the ley lines and the rips, you end up cutting out like half the cost of the deck. Okay, yeah, this is a loss. We tried. I did make a couple of mistakes there. I think we could have taken game one, but they're probably just a little bit faster than us. But like if I pull up Martyr Proc over here, the rips are $45. The ley lines are $45, and that takes like $90 out of the equation. And given the fact that it was coming up with 83 tickets, yeah, I mean, that's basically the entire price of the deck. The Sarah Ascendants are $2 a piece, and everything else is fairly cheap. Thalia isn't a requirement. In fact, the soft versions of the deck with Ghostly Prison and stuff like that don't run Thalia because you run a lot of Planeswalkers. And Crucible of Worlds, I'm a big fan of it, but this is only if you want to grind out with Ghost Quarter. If you don't like playing grindy decks, you're probably not going to be able to, like, you're not going to enjoy playing with Crucible of Worlds, but you can't completely take them off their mana. Oh, wow, this is just horrendous. I can try to scry into a second land, but I won't be able to cast anything. I think I'm going to 5. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. Nope. But yeah, like, this is the deck I recommend to everybody. It just gives you so many different lines and so many different things to play, and a lot of the cards are just white cards. You don't end up running cards like Grafdigger's Cage and... I drew both black sources? What the heck is going on this game? And it looks like I'm playing against Burn again. But you have to have white cards, so the things like Rip as opposed to Relic or Grafdigger's Cage are actually a requirement for the deck, but it's usually what I try to recommend to people. If I don't get a green land here, I'm just going to move along. Okay, so this is Marty Pyromancer. Maybe not. I mean, that's technically a draw. And yeah, Genji, I'm actually playing 12 ball. I have 4 ball lightnings, 4 groundbreakers, and 4 skelemental. Coming back to this guy. I've got 4 of each of these. So I have 12 balls. And then Coco to go get them. Bloodbraid Elf. Just, I play a lot of fun decks. But this was not a good one. This was a Mull to 5 with no mana. Ugh. Yeah, I'm going to move along here. Opponent only had 3 cards in hand, but I didn't have mana. I do actually want to see what was coming. Yeah, more uncastable Groundbreakers, another Bolt, and a Coco. Jeez, yeah, that's not good. Alright, so opponent is Mardu Pyromancer. I'm looking at a lot of tokens coming my way. I don't really have anything in here for that. I have a little bit of Counter Magicate. This doesn't really cover Mardu Pyromancer. I can kind of snag a Faithless Looting, but that's not going to progress me very far. Their 1/1s are going to be able to deal with my ball lightnings. As long as I can swing in, I'm safe. But nothing like that can take care of 1/1s because all my things are X1s. I should be able to steamroll over all of their tokens, though. But if you're looking for another good budget deck, Mono Red Living End is also a really good place to start. I don't have a list for that one yet, but it's pretty similar to this actually. With Faithless Lootings, you're running the red Praetor, Urbrask the Hidden. I'm not crazy about this, but this is good enough to stick around. So let's actually just do this. Come on, buddy, you can load. Let's go ahead and go red for a Vexing Devil, ship it back. So 36 tickets online. It's a lot more expensive in paper, but you end up running things like Insolent Neonate and Faithless Looting to get things into the yard. And it's actually a strategy very similar to what I'm playing right now. We're going to use Karizev's Expertise or Experimental Frenzy, or Electro Dominance, blah, 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 whatever, to cast Living End and bring back Urbrask. That's going to have all of your creatures come in with haste, all of your opponent's stuff come in tapped, and then you're just going to swing out with lethal with a bunch of cycling creatures. So this is actually a really good thing to look into, too. I just don't have a good deck ready for it. I am doing something kind of similar with this list. Okay, that's acceptable. I can Living End whenever I need to, but my elementals will start getting in. As early as next turn, I've got to get a green black source. I don't like getting the black source here, but cost of having the 12 balls. Now, let's hope opponent doesn't get the read we're actually on Living End and discards creatures. I'm going to feel much more confident with 3 red sources. Alright, Bloodbraid is fine. Assuming I find a 4th land, I'm going to be in Happy Magic Christmas Land. So Lightning Skelemental comes down. Opponent's been leaving up red, which means I'm expecting a Lightning Bolt to hit this, but I'm more concerned about the Electro Dominance Living End turn. So we'll see if they've got the removal. Honestly, they might just be happy I'm about to discard some Lingering Souls for them, but yeah, that 100% makes sense. Would love to top deck a land next turn, hit 2 ball lightnings, and then following turn just Electro Dominance one-shot them. Those are the hopes and dreams here. Kaya? Ooh, Kaya is going to make this hard. Hopefully that they're conservative and try to gain life. Nope. Alright, well, it looks like they figured out we're a graveyard deck. Most of the time you let one of those stay around, so next turn you can gain life as well. But, alright, we drew into another ball lightning. Opponent, would you like to discard 2? Let's see what you discard. They get to eat my Skelemental again, but if I top deck a land, I can literally just kill them with a ball lightning, so I'm perfectly okay with that. Yep, I need a land. Unearth. Alright, so opponent's playing with a little bit of spice themselves. Living End can at least be a board clear here. Likely not going to go that route, but it is an option. And wanting the triple red did pay off. question is, do I actually want to hit Kaya with this? I'm getting sick of her eating my graveyard, and that means this Electro Dominance is at least getting me a Ball Lightning if I have to fire it off as a board clear. Yeah, I think I just talked myself into trying to kill Kaya. She'll live with 1 health if they want to sack the Peasy. Yep, bye Kaya. I guess we'll see if they have another one. They do have 1 card in hand. What you got going on over there? I actually wonder if Unearth would be pretty decent in this deck. It'd be 1 mana to get back a Ball Lightning. That's sad. Guessing they have to take the Electro Dominance here. They do get to see what's going on, though. Alright, what you thinking, opponent? If they have another Brutality, they might just take Coco on one of the combo pieces. Yep, bye Electro Dominance. That is a Birds of Paradise. So not necessarily what I wanted to see, but as long as they don't have Fatal Push in hand, I should be alright. I guess they could just have a Bolt. Fatal Push. Lame. That's why I wanted a land, not a bird, but taking 5 damage, currently on a 3-turn clock. It's going to be going up to... Yeah, that just restocked. So still on a 3-turn clock, though. That's perfectly acceptable. So they only have black available to them at the moment. I actually think I'm just going to fire this off now. It clears their board, gets me back a mana dork so I can actually Coco next turn. Hits in for 6. They have no creatures coming back. I wouldn't be surprised if they push their young Peasy here if they have it, because then that means that Peasy would be coming back. But that's 6 damage getting in, which means that Coco hitting 2 Ball Lightnings will get there, or Bloodbraid hitting a Ball Lightning's probably going to get there. I still haven't seen a Vexing Devil this game, which means I'm likely to hit a Vexing Devil in the top X cards, but I also only have 1 bird. World of possibilities. If they don't kill the bird, though, definitely something coming down next turn. Yes, I have. So there's actually a couple of different variants of it, but they all play kind of similarly to this, where you try to cheat on mana. Yeah, that's still a pretty good one, because then you leave the opponent with like no cards in hand, no lands, and you just have a 9/7. Alright, that's an Electro Dominance, but hitting 2 Ball Lightnings here should still be lethal, unless they found another Lightning Bolt. Alright, well, found 1. There goes a lot of really random cards. Did you find a bold opponent? Apparently not. So a lot of things are live now. Dreadbore on the bird. Well, I mean, the Electro Dominance is just going to kill them. So as long as they don't have discard to follow this up with, which they don't. All right, we should be taking this game. So the problem is that if I actually look at my Ball Lightnings, Noble won't tap for red, and I need red here, and the Lightning Skelemental needs red and black, and Noble aren't going to work with that. Like, I need a lot of very specific mana colors. Pokey for one. All right, let's go to board. Opponent did take game one because we had to mulligan to Oblivion. They know what we're doing now. So their deck should be running ley lines because they can just Faithless Looting, put them in the board, or just discard them to Season Peasy. I think we're still fairly well favored. We have 6/1s that have Trample, and they have 1/1s. So, happy to just run this back. What did the Grudges come in for? They only hit an artifact. I might be able to hit... I mean, if they had Rack, I could see it hitting a Rack, but they don't really have any artifacts. Yeah, artifacts are enchantments. It's all good. I have made some very, very public mistakes while streaming, so I cannot hold anybody responsible for misreading something. I should probably update the match record, though. We are currently 1-1, and in this match, we are 1-1. Sorry, this match we're 1-1. Overall, we are up a game. Pithy Nita for Kaya. That actually might have been a good point, Bradwan. How many Kayas should they be running, though? I like this. This is going to be a bird on 1. It's likely going to get pushed or bolted. Then a Vexing Devil. They're going to take the 4, follow it up with a Ball Lightning, and have multiple top decks that matter. Or they just discard me, get the bird. Yep, likely taking the bird here. Either that or they just don't want to deal with the Vexing Devil. They've taken 4 every time that it's come down. Either way, we have a mildly solid turn 1 play. Yep. Bird is most relevant, especially in the Electro Dominance deck. Mobodo's struggling today. Yep, they take the 4, but I have 2 Ball Lightnings on turn 1. They're already at 14. Like, everything is going to plan. Like, Kai is going to be a little upsetting here because they'll be able to gain some life, but... Oh, yeah, please. Go below 12. That's the magic number here. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Alright, so this is likely going to be a green-red source tap this turn. No, it's going to be a red-black source tap this turn, and then I can get a forest if need be. We'll figure that out. Likely going to Lightning Skelemental first if they don't leave up mana. Dreadhorde Arcanist will be able to recast the Inquisition, though. So, I guess it depends on what they take. When this guy got spoiled, everybody was calling him Slapcaster Mage because he was only able to cast things when he went in to slap them. Name felt relevant. Alright, opponent, you crack this Bloodstained Mire, you're dead to the cards in my hand. Rocky, you okay, buddy? You're dying over there. Alright, so I'm getting the read there that they don't have removal spells. If they had removal spells, they probably wouldn't have cared which one I would have taken. They would prefer that I get off-color mana base. That may not be accurate. This is strictly the best card in there, but... Whoops, wrong window. Yeah, so that was Saffron Olive's Martyr Proc list from 2017. There have been a lot of new additions since then. Namely, the one card from Modern Horizons has been really good. The 3-mana Go Tutor for 1. It's Ranger something or other. Discarded Lingering Souls and Fatal Push. Alright, well, without the red card in hand, definitely getting a Stomping Ground. And a Bloodbraid is perfectly acceptable. So... I really don't think it makes a difference here. The fact that opponent didn't open on a ley line means it's a little more likely that they have a surgical extraction. Uh, so Ranger of Eos is the 4 mana one. The new one is the. It's not Ranger. It's. Alright, so I am actually going to take 1 second to pause on this. Blood Crypt here is going to give me 3 red for Ball Lightning. Then I convert it Catacombs, go get my Forest for the Bloodbraid next turn. So that's why I'm sequencing my lands this way. Opponent also left no mana up, which means this Ball Lightning's 100% getting in. And as soon as this gets in, I'm happy to F6 and pull up the card I was talking about. So let's go back to Scryfall. We're going to go E, Modern Horizons 1, Ranger. Ranger Captain of Eos, the 3 mana one that lets you get a single creature with converted mana cost 1 or less. And then you can sack it so that your opponent can't combo off. So if your opponent's in the middle of storming or something, you can still protect yourself. Ranger of Eos is 4 mana. It gets you 2 creatures. It's amazing value. It wins you a ton of games. But this is some very specific hate, the Ranger Captain. Okay. Mildly intrigued in what's going on over here. Opponent can technically fog a step. They can flash back the Lingering Souls, but... So my Groundbreaker's lethal. They're going to flash back the Lingering Souls, though, which is acceptable. Yep. And that leaves up a bolt. I'm currently looking at 5 damage on the table. I'm trying to figure out what sequence of things actually backfires the worst. So they could technically just bolt me here and attack with the Dreadhorde Arcanist and re-bolt me next turn. So Bloodbraid be on defense is probably my best line. Bloodbraid into Living End is like guaranteed win though. Lightning Skelemental's fine. So I think I'm sending in the Skelemental and leaving Bloodbraid on defense. Either that or I send everything in, and then Groundbreaker next turn means they have to leave everything on defense. Yeah, that actually seems better. We came here to attack all out. Sequencing is for defenders. Yep, okay, so they just take the 3. I'm taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so I'm dead. Or they've got to have another bolt. Alright, well, this is why you make them play it out. They know about the Groundbreaker in hand, so they might even play defense here. Do you have another bolt opponent, a K command? Did I miscount? Oh, I miscounted. Yep, still dead anyway. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Oh, I am currently 1-1. Forgot about Burn. So I actually think I could have taken Mardu, Pyromancer, and Burn if I would have played correctly. This deck is mildly complicated, and you're trying to keep track of where 6 damage is coming from. But you don't play 12 Ball Lightnings with expect to win. You play 12 Ball Lightnings with expect to have fun. Alright, looks like opponent didn't want to take a couple of Lightnings to the face. Oh, no, they did. Alright, I'd love to play first. This is Birds into Ball Lightning into Coco. These are cards I love to see. We even get a pain-free ball lightning. Alright, don't be a deck with a million bolts. We just played 2 of those. Windswept Heath means it should be a fair matchup. Unless they get a stomping ground. And they have their own birds. Alright, well, if they have Thalia, Thalia is amazing against our deck because First Strike blocks Ball Lightnings very well. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and just get in with a Ball Lightning. That's all I really want out of life. And if opponent taps out for something... Okay. Devoted Druid combo. I could potentially just kill you here. Or you untap and kill me. What a format. I'm just... Oh, I need to get a black source. Yeah, let's take a Blood Crypt. Collected Company. Are you kidding me? That might be the shame scoop right there. Don't Vizier and kill me. I get to untap and throw 2 more Ball Lightnings at you. Alright, I need to see a payoff. Opponent setting me the early GGs. Like, I want to see your payoff. I'm not just going to scoop until you show me something. Okay, yeah, he has a Duskwatch. That's unfortunate. 1 turn too late. Alright, I do need the additional spot removal. This is when something like a Grafdigger's Cage would be great, but that turns off our own Coco. Pithy Needle stops mana abilities. I'm pretty sure this works, but it doesn't hurt to double check. So I can't stop the tap to add green, but I can stop to put a 1/1 counter on it. And yeah. Oh, wait, didn't take cards out. 64 card special. Yeah. Let's be amazing at this game. This doesn't do it. Oh, wow. All the mistakes, every single one of them. Yeah. That was also a mistake. I should have gotten a red source tapped. Although, odds are I'm not killing a Birds of Paradise, so that was probably okay. Let's see there, Genji. By the way, can I just say I'm mildly disappointed you haven't needed healing yet? Yeah, so Death Cloud is actually on the list of decks I'm going to start piloting here pretty soon. It is a fun meme deck. It's okay for FNM, but you won't be able to take it anywhere like a GP and expect to do anything constructive with it. Come on. Flame Slash. Alright, there we go. Well, I'm sitting here in the 21 land deck with three lands in hand. I'm starting to hit the point that if I cast Electro Dominance Living End, I'm probably giving my opponent infinite mana. Yay, more mana! So I can technically Electro Dominance for 17 with my mana base. How bad is that for a backup plan? I already have Black Source, so just going to take the Stomping Ground. Oh my gosh. Okay, all the sad things are happening right now. So Wildfire is technically a deck. It hasn't put up any results, like none at all, in the past couple of years. Like I'm aware of it. It's a bad transition to modern standard deck, but it does technically exist. I think that Saffron Olive did a video on it like 3 years ago, and it kind of worked, but it doesn't really work anymore. Let's see. So opponent's getting infinite mana here. I could have stopped to Electro Dominance it, but when they put the payoff on the stack, I'll just kill them and they won't have infinite mana, blah blah blah, infinite mana anymore if they did have it. I guess I can just still combo off. So I can make him actually go for this, but I'm just going to move on with my life. I really don't care to watch him click through this. The dude was kind of salty giving the early GGs, but what can you do? So we do move 1 to 4, or 1 to 3. I do typically go 2-3. I've done significantly better with this deck in the past. I think the last time I played it, I went 4-1 or at least 3-2. But it is kind of matchup dependent, and we played decks with a lot of removal, and we just got mana flooded beyond belief there. I could have stopped that last combo. Like, I am playing a little bit loose. I've had another migraine today, and typically when I have them, I just play quick games and try to get to the end of them. If I would have killed the Devoted Druid with the Cord on the stack, then they wouldn't have been able to combo off, but whatever. Let's just go ahead and get our last game in and see how this goes. The 8 ball did work significantly better than 12 ball. 8 ball was running Hellspark Elemental, which I'll go ahead and post in chat. But it was basically a baby ball lightning that didn't need the Living End to come back. Living End would actually give you 3 uses of Hellspark Elemental. And it was just really good to get a little bit more chip damage in. It always posed a threat later in the game. So, like, we hit those times where we just had nothing in hand, but a Hellspark Elemental was something we could do for the turn. It also made it so our opponents had to leave things on defense to at least put them off tempo. As much as I like the Skelemental, whatever it's called, adding black and going up to 12 copies was a real cost. I've been keeping terrible hands, and this is going to be one of them. Okay, so we should be able to just stomp Tron. We should send enough damage at them early enough that we should just be able to obliterate them, and we don't care about keeping stuff on our board, which means that Karn isn't nearly as effective as he should be. Yep, opponent taking 4 for Vexing Devil. Relic. Oh, it's Bluetron. Yeah, this should still be fine. I need red, which means I'm going to be getting another Stomping Ground here. Cashing in Relic, that's actually fine by my standards. Found an Expedition map. and drew into the Blood Crypt. Alright, well, opponent has remanned up, but we got to start running our stuff out. Remand, Condescend, any of the above? No? Okay, so they just wanted to crack the map. There's a power plant, which means that if I get the opportunity to Coco next turn, I'm going to kill them. And I think that means I just go for it. So they can have Condescend, they can have Remand, but they're going to have to tap out to interact with me. They shouldn't have the last Tron land. Sending a Ball Lightning in is just going to suffer the same fate, but as I have a backup Coco, it seems fine to just test the waters here. Yep, there's Remand as expected. I guess I probably should have waited until end. Nah, no, that wouldn't have mattered. If they would have tried to thirst at my end step, my Ball Lightnings wouldn't stick around long enough to actually attack. Okay, so I'm actually kind of happy with that. So I'll just Bolt end step. They're going to interact with the Ball Lightning, but then I can just Bolt end step and put them close to dead. Wait, I need to play my land. And Bluetron is getting a sufficient amount of mana. If they end up finding their mine, I'm kind of just screwed here. Alright, let's try it again. That wasn't counter magic. Repeal. Alright. I'm just going to Bolt now before they get the opportunity to draw. And opponent's got to be figuring out they're pretty close to dead. If I draw a land, I get 2 Ball Lightnings. Otherwise, I get a Coco at their end step and Coco at my main step. Platinum Angel. Okay, what does that mean? It means Ball Lightning can get in and put them to a low life total. I have 2 more bolts, but it's going to cost double bolt to get them. I can get into a Lightning Skelemental. I can Electro Dominance it. So I think I'm just going to Coco with an attempt to get more cards out of my deck, which means I should thin. Because if opponent can't find a way to win here pretty quickly, then I'm going to be able to take this still, but I'm running out of time. So let's get some cards out of the deck as fast as possible. Lightning Skelemental's fine. Oh, Living End will also do it. So I can just swing in and then draw into Electro Dominance Living End. They'll have counter magic though. That's awkward. Yep, they go negative. They're not going to lose the game. Discarded 2 Gemstone Caverns. Alright, so Electro Dominance is probably my best top deck. Now they're going to try to lattice me out of the game. I don't like this card. I feel like I've put up with a lot of really random decks that do really unfair things, but Karn and Phoenix are 2 on the top end of, like, they just do random shenanigans and don't really have a good reason to stick around. You can't do anything janky with either of those cards running about. Yep, they're going for lattice. And they're also on the Crucible plan. That's good to note. Okay, so I'm going to have to double ball lightning here, and they both have to resolve, or one of them has to resolve. So ball lightning. Ball lightning. If they have Cryptic, they're just going to tap down the team. Show me the Cryptic opponent. Okay. Go kill card. All right, well, I have a couple of draws, but I'm running out of time. Yep, that doesn't do anything until you slam a Karn. Are you kidding me? Okay, well, I guess we will check to see if they have... another Karn, then. Although that doesn't make sense to run out the second one with Ratchet Bomb. Yeah, alright. Not a fan of this. Not at all. Alright, Ancient Grudges come in, Alpine Moon comes in, Gutter Response comes in. This is actually one of the few matchups I have a lot of cards for. Bloodbraid comes out, just slightly on the slow end. Vexing Devil probably just comes out, although it's 4 damage to an opponent. This is a race. Electro Dominance would have been live. Probably looking at that. Yeah, let's just see how this does. My desire to play this match just really drifted down to just about 0 here. Are you kidding me? I have 21 lands, deck. Wow. Alright. Yep. This is the plan. Mega Point. Comes in untapped. That was 2 lands, one of which was colorless from my mole from 7 down to 1. And opponents basically already got Tron. Yeah, we're done. That's unfortunate. So, I did actually really like 8-Ball. I don't know if it was just variants. Oh, that's still from Battle of Wits. Oh yeah, I had to do the Ghetto Tech. I don't know if it's just because I took basically the four of the 2 drops and made them 3 drops. I would have loved another 1 mana CMC spell that would have given me red. There is one for 2 mana, and there's one that gives Naya colors for 2 mana. But I need something that's 1 mana so I can Ball Lightning on 2. The times that we did Ball Lightning, we actually were able to race burn. We put up a lot of pressure, but opponents being able to just Ball Lightning made it really hard to do things, and especially like the Marty Pyromancer player that let them discard our combo while we were trying to set up for the one-shot kill with it. It just turned out a little rough. Like, if I come over here and I take a look at one of the first decks that we did, which was the 8-Ball deck, this was a little bit more mainstreamed. Here, let me log in. It just had a more... I'm blanking on the word. Sorry, migraine's making me lose words. It was more consistent. It had a more consistent game plan because the curve was lower. This was back before we figured out how to fix split cards, so this isn't even the full list. But we had pelt collectors because they got bigger both when it entered and when it left. We had Hellspark elementals, so we had a lot of really good cards here. The Manamorphoses were awkward, and we went a little bit lighter on the living end game plan, but it still did really, really powerful things. And I think it was just the number of 3 drops that made this painful, as well as adding the black mana for the, the lightning, the Skelemental. The Skelemental's effect was powerful, but the couple of times it made contact, it really didn't matter. That's not what this deck is trying to do. Unearth with Skelemental might actually make another Squirrel Dealer deck in the near future, just because it does seem kind of cute to Faithless Looting, unearth 2 of them, make your opponent discard 4 cards and take 12 damage, but I don't think that Coco is a shell for Skelemental. 8 Ball did work pretty well, but I'm not really the biggest fan of 12 Ball. It just, you needed a lot of lands to make that happen. You required the Birds of Paradise to live. It really made it awkward having to add a couple of black sources so you could actually cast a Skelemental. Like, not overly excited about this one. Plus, there have been a lot of powerful additions into Modern since we did 8 Ball. That Karn is a prime example. Like, our opponent really didn't do anything. We stumbled a little bit. They were able to drop a Platinum Angel, and then they ended up just dropping the Karn, and it's just like, yep, well, I guess that's game. Like, I can kill Karn, but you had 2 Karns, so not a whole lot to be done there. But this deck was definitely fun as 8 Ball. Like, getting the 8 points of damage in, the video is definitely up on Squirrel Dealer. Like, this is worth checking out. I missed a lot of tools. You can tell that I didn't even have, like, the side align. This was an early video, but it played well, and I really enjoyed the deck. I think tonight was kind of a lackluster showing, but thanks for sticking around, and I will be back on Sunday with more videos. Thanks for hanging out.